What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Yes, I think it's time that we go back to the very beginning. It's time for another playthrough of Microtopia. Why? Because I like the way this game challenges you to think. It's different than any other, automation game out there with respect to your units having lives and things, or life timers and things like that. So I want to try and maintain this perspective through my other playthroughs because it might lead to some unique uh, thought processes that will benefit us in the long run in the other playthroughs. So with that in mind, let's do this. We're going to be playing on Smelly Stone Heights. Sounds fantastic. But let's get going to Microtopia again. Oh my gosh, excuse me. We learned so very much in the last playthrough, and I haven't played this game in a couple of months. But, I was missing the ant game, as it's known in my household. Uh, it sure is beautiful. Sure is peaceful and calming. I like this atmosphere we already have here. But, I was thinking about all the different ways that this game forces you to think, like I said. And, all of the different tech aspects that we learned throughout our last playthrough, I want to implement them very quickly, sooner than we did in our previous playthrough. Even though the last one was nice, and it was going along smoothly, I completely forgot sort of what to do. And I wanted to relearn, I wanted to re-earn everything that we had learned. Yeah, so that's the idea in this one, and this season 2 of Microtopia. And let's see what we've learned, and let's try and put it into work, into into play immediately. So here we go. Welcome to Microtopia. You're the hive mind of a robot and ant colony. Follow your instincts to build a thriving settlement. Click the complete button to advance to the next step. Alright, here we are. Instinct 1. Oh man, so long ago. This is where it all began. Very beginning of the game. The very beginning of YouTube for me. Very funny how things are cyclical like that. Every ant colony starts with a queen. You can select her from the build menu. Alright, where is a good spot for her? Now, I believe it's going to start with the queen placement because we want to utilize a lot of the technology, as soon as we get it. And I want the queen to have her own sort of chamber where she is, inoculated from day-to-day life, essentially. All she needs to focus on is pumping out little babies, and we'll have, enough workers to handle her needs. So we should put her somewhere close to, uh, close to some of these plants, these energy plants, but also out of the way. And I think in this area, how do we turn her? How do we turn her? Do we have to put, yeah, okay. So, alright, I'm thinking that I want her to be in this area here. Because the baby ants that are in this area are going to be focusing on collecting energy almost exclusively, and only after they die off or become elderly will they go on to do bigger and better things, right? And that's sort of what we want from our collective here, right? Our colony. So we completed that instinct. We're already on instinct 3, if you can believe it. Instruct the worker to pick up a piece of scrap iron. Done. Let's see if we can find something over here. Yep, there. It's kind of far, but that's fine. There. We don't get controls yet? I don't know. Alright. Already completed Instinct 3. Use stockpiles, which are free, in case you're new to this game. They are free to place wherever you like. So don't feel like, you know, placing them is a burden. Use them to your advantage, I guess what I'm saying. So let's make a hauling trail. Finally, we get our first trail. And we'll do something like that and place this ant on this trail. Now, these pheromone trails are basically... Not basically, I mean, they are the entirety of this game. How are we going to utilize these trails, you know, along with different, you know, modifiers to them, right? To create a colony of ants that, you know, unlike this sentry ant that has an infinite lifespan, 99.9% of the ants in this game have a finite life, and you need to utilize their lifespan in a, you know, economical way, right? We want to be efficient, we want to be effective, because again, we only have a limited amount of time. We want to use that time to do as many things as possible. And if we utilize the different trail modifiers, we can achieve goals like that. And I think that's going to be our driving force in this playthrough, in this season 2 of Microtopia, is that we are going to try and utilize, you know, we tried to do it in the last playthrough, but, you know, we weren't really, I mean, not that I hesitate to say we weren't capable of that, but we weren't really capable of that, right? Because I hadn't really played through the game that far, and I didn't realize, you know, the power of some of the gates, some of the different modifiers to these trails. So let's take a look at that. Let's see the next instinct here. We're going to soon birth her first larva. You can grow larvae into new workers by using an incubator, okay? Incubator, that's going to take 10, what is this? Iron scrap, that's going to take 10 scrap. And what's cool about this game is that there's some kind of magical force that, you know, allows you to gather, you know, once you gather the resources into these stockpiles, they're going to be placed anywhere on the same island. Oh, and did I mention there's multiple islands? Yeah. So this game is going to be so much fun. I love it so much. So let's do this first. We'll complete that so she'll birth her first one. And we're going to do another trail here. Simple trail. This one will be here. And we don't have the ability to be very compact, precise yet, but we're going to get there. And ultimately, you know, we don't need it at this point of the game. And we can... I don't know if we can pick that up yet with the hauling trail. I think it's something else we need. Yeah, we need this one. Foraging trail, correct. So, these ones are going to be just gathering forever. Gathering forever. If you know that song, good for you. Okay. So, now we'll put another stockpile here, because we're going to have to tell this ant that it's done doing what it needs to do. Come back over here. Okay, excuse me a second. Surprise for some of you longtime viewers. I downloaded some editing software, so hopefully you don't hear me lip smacking. Hopefully you don't hear me doing anything crazy. I'm working on that for everybody, because since the very first time I played this game, I have gained 11 subscribers. Giving myself a little shock action right there, because, you know, honestly, it's a thing, you know. I never thought would happen. I got myself some editing software because I owed it to the 11 subscribers that I've gotten in the meantime, since I played this game the first time on this channel. And honestly, I want to get better for those individuals that trust me to watch my content. Because, you know, there's a whole bunch of people that do this kind of stuff. And it's a choice to watch who you watch, so even if you watched only the first 30 seconds of this one, I'm grateful for you. Yeah, your contribution is noted, and I'm thankful. So let's just set something up here really quickly. And we're going to set this individual here. But did we get... No, we didn't do it yet. Okay. So you can come over here, grab this, because I know he'll never get there yet. I'm sorry, maybe it's a girl, because I don't know if this is a colony like real life ants, because they're robots, okay? They're robot ants. But, you know, do these ants, you know, are they all girls? Because I know in most insect colonies like that, they're all girls or something like that. And only the drones, the males that fly, are capable of reproducing. So, and they only live for a short amount of time. You know, they're not mainstays of the colony. Uh-huh. Okay. So for now, we can probably use a second one of these, but it's not important. We just need to get our 10th worker to complete this instinct, and then we can start worrying about other stuff. Because, you know, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, you know, they say something like that. But we might need to, because I don't think we can hit it without this second one. I'm being brutally honest with you. Because, and we'll need to feed the queen somehow. Some more. Right. Well, that's funny. Okay. And we don't have the shop thing. What's it called? A little blooper? Bloop? Come here. Feed her. Feed her. Go, go, go. Complete. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, perfect. Easy. Now. Now we got some stuff. This thing, the dispenser. Let's place a dispenser, and we'll place it here. Now, they can automatically draw an energy pod and feed it to the queen, and she will immediately consume it and produce an offspring. Perfect. Easy. Let's get to work on what this instinct says. Build a smelter and smelt 10 iron blocks. So let's start a little... well, let's actually delete this. And we'll build it closer to here. Yeah, we'll build it here. And from here, we'll place a dispenser. We'll place another stockpile. And we'll... like that. Okay, we only need one of these sentinel ants in there at this time. So head on in, get to work. This should automatically know what to do, but just in case it doesn't, we will start smelting like that. And maybe I'll cut to when there's 10. We'll see. The final product. Alright, looks like we just completed our 10th iron block. Transferred it to the stockpile. Transferred it to the stockpile. Let's complete that instinct. Instinct 10. It says use that iron to build a workshop. Let's take a look at these workshops. So, there's different layers to this game. You know, it's a colony simulator in that you're trying to maintain the lives of your ants as long as possible. Build up the size of the colony, but you're also trying to automate that process. So it's a factory simulator at the same time. And what do you do in factory? I've got that TikTok. I'm going to date this video, and I got that TikTok stuck in my head. I didn't even watch TikTok, but it's all over the internet. Factory. Engines in my factory. You know, you know. Anyway, we built this workshop, but back to what I was saying. What do we do in a factory game? We use a base resource, such as iron, scrap here. We refine that resource, and then we transfer that resource into some new item, right? From here we're going to make plates, we're going to make screws. So let's complete that. Let's see what it says. We need iron plates, and we need screws in our stockpile. So already we need to scale up a little bit, but already we have a few more methods to handle that, right? And we have very powerful methods to handle that. So let's take a look at some of these gates and what they do. All right, first let's redesign our smeltery here to utilize better the what is this? Iron scrap? Right. We're gonna want, you know, at least 3 of those right now. Oops. I'm so used to other games. This game is so unique. Really, really enjoy it. I can't stress how much it's a really fun game. Oh, we don't have enough. That's fine. We could probably delete that for now because we're gonna need it. And let's erase this trail. Let's have it drop this. Now, so back when this game first came out, it was so menacing to have these things be stuck on the ground because you'd have to pick them up and buy it with a worker and send them to place. But now you just click on it, it goes right to the stockpile. Quality of life changes, so amazing. Along with this here, if you push F, you can move this anywhere you want. So we're going to set up a little workstation here, we'll call it. And it's the least, in my opinion, complex of the work loops. Okay, there are multiple work loops that you can create in this game, and we're going to use the divider here, and that's going to just allow us to do exactly what the name implies. And we're going to move this again because it needs to be further back. So we're going to create a work line, a work area to satisfy our need of having these 3 smelters running non-stop. Okay, and now how are we going to do that? Well, like I said, this is the easiest way to do it, and that's to use the divider gate. The divider does exactly what it says, as I said earlier. It divides the trail into however many portions that you choose, and one after the other, they get activated. So the first ant that walks by will go here, the next one, and it's based on how you've, you know, this is the first one, second, and third, yeah? If that makes sense. Anyway, the most important thing to remember is that this is a definite order, okay? So, you know, you gotta remember that there can be a limit of only this many ants in there at any given time. Otherwise, you know, it's gonna be overburdened. And, you know, in essence, you could have maybe 1 extra, depending on the length of time it takes to walk back and, you know, do all the extra steps that are required, because not only do we need to connect this, you know, divider to each individual smelter, we want to have it be automated to the point that, you know, we can send them to the storage facility and back without having to tell the ants anything of what to do, right? Now, there's only one thing that's missing here, like I said, and that's the amount of ants that are allowed in this trail. Okay, so let's get this going here, and we can only have 3, right? Now, if you notice when you click on this, this counter gate will describe the entire trail for you, all right? And that's going to be very important to remember when you're designing your own trails, all right? Maybe one of the most important lessons you can learn when you're trying to figure out how to play this game. If you design a trail that is, you know, complex, you want to make sure that the entire trail, and only that portion of the trail that you're trying to have control over with the amount of ants that are allowed to enter it, is colored green. That will denote a completed trail. All right, let's just remember that. So we're always going to want to find that we have this completed trail when we are ready to have ants enter it. All right. And that's only the beginning of the complexity of this game. So let's start there, and we'll do something different now with how we send our ants out, because we don't only need them to be going to get energy, we need them to be doing other things. Just for the moment. We'll sort it out later. But for now, this is what we need. So we're gonna have our trailhead be like so. And we're gonna create a simple little loop here. Simple little loop. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did with our smeltery to determine how many ants are going to be in here, because look how many ants are in there. And we don't even need that many. So let's leave something like 10 ants in there. Perfect. Okay. We have ants doing multiple jobs for us, and we still have plenty of ants in this main colony loop here that aren't doing anything. You know, so we can have them quickly come up here and start doing other things for us, and we can use the same technology, same thought process that we just learned here to get them to do this. Now, some things are easier done than others, and we'll start with the simplest thing, which is screws. Okay, because it only takes one item to make a screw, and the next most complex one is iron plates, and I'll tell you what I mean by that in a sec here. Let's get, so this takes 4 iron blocks, and the screw takes 1 iron block, so just let's keep that in mind. Let's build our trail here. We need to go this way, and we need another one of these, and the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut is Z, so we always want to use a dispenser. We always want to use this same dispenser, and we can, let's take a look and see what our ant will do here. It's going to come and pick up, it's going to walk around, it's going to grab another one. It's going to do that 4 times, and then it's going to pick up. It's going to perform the work needed to make the iron plate. Okay, so that's a very long trail that we need to somehow shorten up, right? Okay, we're going to work on that. That's going to be the next thing that we need. Let's also, because we have the ability to, just maintain the ability to have this this line of workers gathering energy, and we need to stockpile that for now. Okay, and at this point we've almost finished our first iron plate, which is nice. They're very useful, and we need them in stockpile before we start doing anything else. Colony line is getting overburdened, so let's do something here. Let's get rid of these guys in this capacity here, and we'll add, like, 5 workers here. Goodbye. And goodbye. Alright, there we go. So now we have our small workers taking care of anything and everything that we need. The vast majority of our colony's needs. Leaving our infinite life sentinel ants to basically guard over our colony. And one of the neat aspects about this game that I didn't mention is that with these 4 sentry ants, It is impossible to lose this game. You can always come back. Always. Because there's only really a couple things that you need, right? You need energy. You need the ability to take the larvae and spawn them. And you need the ability to feed the queen. That's only 3 things. That's all you need to stimulate your colony. So, impossible to lose. So it's a really fun game in that regard too. Makes the stress of success sort of disappear. So looks like we completed our Instinct 12 already. And let's get on 13. In Microtopia, you can upgrade workers to enhance their lifespan and capabilities. Build a combiner and use it to combine 2 small workers into 1 regular worker. Okie dokie. And now we're about to get into what is the second defining feature of this game. And that is where you take one kind of ant and you combine it with another ant or something else to create a new kind of ant. It's you know, it's a very unique aspect. Alright, so we've done that. We've done that. Perfect. Now we need to make 5 of those. So let's do something really quickly, so again that we don't have to worry about it. And this will be a far walk for now, but you know, it doesn't matter at this point. Again, we're not shooting for any kind of, you know, supreme efficiency quite yet. What we're looking for now is grasping the basics of this game, right? And it seems like, for the moment, we've set up, you know, a somewhat successful little colony. And I'm excited for its future, for being honest. So my timer's about to go off, but I might play for a couple more minutes. In my last playthrough, in the first episode, I was able to get all the way to finding the second island. I thought that was, you know, easily doable in 30 minutes. And it is, if you're really striving for efficiency and getting to the next level quickly, then yeah. But I feel like probably a more appropriate way to play this game is to take your time and understand what you're looking at, right? Because these games they're not, no, you can't go in there. So this is going to be one of our problems, right? One of the things is that we can't distinguish between a small ant and a big ant. So there's no way to maintain this sort of posture here. There's the timer, but we're going to ignore it for a second. I at least want to get through this instinct and see what's next before we call it the end of this first episode. Everybody that's watched, again, any episode of my any playthrough, I am super grateful for you. You know, the main reason I do this is for posterity and my kids, and I love them. But I'm glad to have you all along on the journey. It's fun for me as a person and as a creator to know that people enjoy the content, even for just a moment. So thank you again for that. What are we doing here? Now we do need to combine 2 regular workers. So let's just make that happen, because again, we don't need to distinguish between any of these workers just yet. But you know, it's going to be helpful for us in the future. So we're combining these 2 regular workers into something more magnificent. Let's see what it is. See what it becomes. For anybody that's watched any of these episodes in the past, will already know, or watched any other creator make videos on this game. It is right. It's an adventure ant, and it sure is neat looking. Sure is neat looking. Alright. Let's single this person out. This adventure ant out. Because we're going to need it over here. How the heck do we get it up here? Like that. Yeah. Now, here's another thing that we can use one of these ants for. Send it over here. And we're going to need another dispenser because you need to feed these ants energy pods in order to utilize their properties, their respective inventor point properties. Entirely putting the ant on that box. Here we go. Just a few more points. We'll have our first points. Right? Points for points. We are. We've got 10. Let's complete it. We need that one in there. Just taking care of business really quickly, sorry. There. Alright, let's pop it. Unlock radar tower. Alright. Here we are. Here we are. We're at what is I consider to be a natural stopping point of the first oh, we're so close. Of the first episode. Oh, I only made 4. That's annoying. Can we get one of these long-lived workers in here? What I consider to be a natural stopping point of the first episode. And that's when we build the radar tower. So as soon as that's completed, we will end this episode with finding the second island. Spoiler alert. Oh, perfect. It's important to upgrade your workers, right? Because it's so much fun. But the point is that these small workers, they only last 5 minutes. I think it's the max. Yeah, 5 minutes. The large workers, or regular worker ants, they last 10 minutes. So, there's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. So, they only last a certain amount of time. And instead of letting the small workers die off as they get old, you can turn them into new, longer-lived workers. See how easy it is to reset your trails? Simple. Our colony pile here is filling up very quickly again. But we'll be able to take care of that in the next episode. Looks like we're just 2 blocks away, 1 block away from completing our radar tower. We'll see what happens. Right? We'll see what happens. Oh, there it is right there. Never mind, we already had it done. Somehow because the worker died. Very annoying. Alright. So let's make contact. Let's see what happens. Let's get a layout of our new... Oh, did I mention that we're really looking at things under a microscope here? Kind of neat. So we made contact with another colony here, and this colony is performing what's called a nuptial flight, and they're looking to get some nuptials going. If you're older than the age of 5, you might know what nuptials are. If you aren't, then, lucky for you. We're almost finished here, and I think so far this colony is doing remarkably well. Could we have done it quicker? Maybe. Did we need to? It's right on track. Nothing has been lost or gained from doing things the way that we have, other than the fact that we've learned how to implement divider gates. We learned how to implement in some, you know, primitive fashion counter gates, which are going to be extremely important later in this playthrough. Oops, I don't know what I just did there, but I missed something. Reveal the new island. Let's reveal the new island. I hit escape at immediately the incorrect time. Ooh, look at this. We got a triple island here. Let's take a look at it really quickly by zooming in. And it has some new concepts for us to deal with. There's new energy pods of a different color, different variety. Level 2 energy pods if we have level 1 on these yellows here. Sorry if I was zooming in and out. Like that on you. I can click on one of these plants here. Alright, see? Energy pod. You're also dealing with copper here. And a lot of drilling. Also, if I'm not mistaken, we need to find out where it is. Aha, here it is. One of the most important items in the game here, glass. So that's the next goal, is to reach that island. And how we do that is entirely up to us. But until next time, thanks for watching. We'll take care. See you in the next one.